Dad. I still get around pretty good, Dad.
Restore your confidence, Luke.
Dad, I don't need toe grips.
Oh, go ahead. You're okay.
Luther, where you going, buddy? See, he's hopping around getting some water now. That, of course, is Luther, and Luther takes the Dr. Busby Encore Mobility from ToeGrips.com.
He actually may have gotten too confident because he was feeling so good.
I think he was. I think he got a little cocky. I think Luther got a little cocky because of all the supplements, these awesome supplements from Dr. Busby. But he takes the Encore Mobility, but you see those toe grips in the picture. Luther may have to start trying those out. We'll have to talk with Dr. Busby about it. But Luther got a little cocky about his how good he was feeling, I guess, with the Encore Mobility, which is a great supplement that helps dogs who might have joint pain, might have joint flexibility issues, hip issues, problems with mobility and comfort. You know what we're going to start? We're going to start giving Luther multiple Dr. Busby Encore Mobility treats.
That's my fault.
We're going to start doing that and see if that helps. I mean, he's an older guy. He's 8. So if you have an older dog or maybe, you find yourself in a position where, you have a dog that has a hard time getting around on hardwood floors but is fine out in the grass and other areas, well, maybe the toe grips are for you. But if you have a dog that you're just hoping can, bring back that mobility and comfort and that vigor and vitality, well, Dr. Busby's Encore Mobility could be for you. It's a joint supplement that contains green-lipped mussel and New Zealand deer velvet, which is a novel ingredient not found in the other big-name joint supplements in the United States. Dr. Busby learned of the product 3 years ago from an Israeli veterinarian at a veterinary acupuncture conference, and her patients are seeing such great results from this. And Luther's been doing awesome.
He has. I'm telling you, I think he got cocky.
I think he got cocky, maybe slipped, maybe hurt himself. But now he's back in the game. We're going to start taking some more Dr. Busby Encore Mobility. And, of course, there are the toe grips, and there's the awesome blog. And everything you need from Dr. Busby, you can check it out because Dr. Busby is wonderful, and we are big fans of hers, and she's a big supporter of Luther.
Very informative blog on dog UTIs.
So if anybody's interested...
You laugh, but we thought Luther had a UTI once. The vet was trying to figure it out. There's a lot of stuff that can happen if you just leave it untreated, so you should read the blog.
So read the blog about that. Please do, yes. And if you go to the website, which is ToeGrips.com, and use the promo code Luther, you will get 10% off your purchase. 10% off using the promo code Luther. And you have nothing to lose because it's a 30-day money-back guarantee. And I can tell you Dr. Busby and Mr. Dr. Busby are awesome. And they will take great care of you at the website. It is ToeGrips.com. Check them out. She's wonderful. And again, use the promo code Luther for 10% off. 10% off. Promo code is Luther. It is our friend Dr. Busby at ToeGrips.com, and we'll keep you updated on Luther's status there. So, how is everybody tonight? We are glad you're with us here. Of course, you can check out the podcast if you happen to listen to it when it's not live. If you're not listening to it live, we do appreciate you guys as well because you're beautiful people, and we love everybody who engages in the program. But we'll look at Spank It, Slap It, Drop It, some bits right out of the chute, 1,000 bits right from the jump. Bada bang! Now we're talking, baby. Let's start here, actually. This is from Go-Go Gadget Wang. Malcolm Jenkins is an idiot. He's scared to play a game that'll give him CTE and scramble his brains at a high percentage because of a virus. Here's the thing about this with a 99.8% survival rate. One, I don't think the thing about Malcolm Jenkins, I don't know that he's being honest. He can say that because he's on CNN and he can talk about how he's afraid of the virus and that he doesn't want to get anybody sick. I'll go back to something else about Malcolm Jenkins, and it's from an interview I did with Malcolm when we used to have him on weekly on WIP. If you remember that story, I think it was a game against the Cowboys, and he played the entire second half with a concussion.
Oh, and it's Dallas.
And everybody, and he said he didn't tell any of the teammates. He didn't tell he was tested out on the sideline and said he was good to go. He ignored doctor's orders and went out and played anyway. And he's like, I'm tough and I'm all this, right? Well, I have a hard time siding with you when you tell me you're afraid of the effects of the virus if you play in the NFL or if you play a football game, when you play a sport that is, as Go Gadget Wang pointed out, a sport that will cause concussions. When you got a concussion, you completely ignored the concussion and you admitted that you had a concussion because you were hazy and you had a brain fog. And that's dangerous, by the way. People make it sound like he was only hurting himself by playing with a concussion. If you have a slip up in a situation in a game, you could put your other teammates in jeopardy health-wise. There are a lot of factors here. So the idea that you're scared to play because of the Rona and you're only going to play if it's 100% safe, well, it's not going to be 100% safe because you're not going to have a vaccine.
I also hate to say it, but now that he is an employee of CNN,
I know. I kind of don't believe what he says.
I mean, that goes both ways too. Employees of Fox News can feel one way, employees of CNN, but I mean, don't tell me that there's not kind of a push to be like, hey, we want you to kind of
it'd be one thing if we were watching I don't know, man. Now that you're kind of a political pundit and you're on TV and you're involved in media, I really have questions about your honesty because I don't believe in the media anyway, one way or the other.
Right, and this isn't just like a guest appearance. He is a paid employee now from CNN.
Correct. So I have a hard time. I really have a hard time. But here's an easy answer for Malcolm Jenkins. If he's one of these guys that doesn't want to play and he's well within his rights to not play, if he doesn't want to play, don't. But here's what I ultimately think is going to happen. Just like the same thing happens with concussions and all these other things. The players get all jacked up about it and say nobody cares about player safety, and we care about our safety more than anybody else does. But then ultimately they still go out and make millions of dollars to play a game that is inherently violent and there's a 0% chance you come out of playing football 100% healthy. Whether you're banging up your hips, your knees, your shoulders, your elbows, your brain, you're not going to come out of playing football 100% healthy. You know it's dangerous. You play a dangerous game anyway, and the reason you play a dangerous game is why? Because of the money, because you love it, because you need it, because you're addicted to it. For whatever reason, you still play it. So come September, come August, there isn't going to be a vaccine. So if you tell me that Malcolm, first of all, I say he's full of shit because there's not going to be a vaccine. So the only way to 100% feel safe about playing football is with a vaccine because he was on CNN. He said basketball is different. They're in this bubble. There's not as many players. Football's a totally different world. I don't want to give it to my mom or my grandma. It's not 100% safe. I'm not going to do it.
I bet LeBron's going to take offense to that statement.
Well, possibly. But here's what I would say. Prove it. Malcolm Jenkins says he won't play unless it's 100% safe. But here's what I've also learned about people that make these kind of bold statements. They move the goalposts, right? You can go back to old Bubba Wallace, this whole thing with Bubba Wallace. At first, it was a hate crime, right? It was a hate crime. And then when the FBI confirmed it was not a hate crime, it went away from, oh, it's a hate crime to, well, there's still a noose and nooses are racist. We need to get to the bottom of this.
Right.
It's moving the goalpost. It's the same with these players. It's the same with the asshats like Lena Dunham, who said they'd move to Canada if Trump won the election.
She's still here.
Bitch ain't moved to no Canada. The bitch ain't going to move to no Canada. Why? Because they move the goalpost, right? So Malcolm Jenkins today in June can say he's not going to play unless it's, completely safe. Well, it's not going to be completely safe. One, because it's football and it's inherently dangerous anyway. And two, the Rona's going to be out there, right? So I believe that come August or September, Malcolm Jenkins, when there's millions of dollars on the line, Malcolm Jenkins ain't going to just not play. It's complete bullshit. But a lot of these guys like to make these big, bold proclamations and say, I'm not going to do it unless blank. And another thing about Malcolm Jenkins that makes him full of shit, and I actually like the guy, but another thing that makes Malcolm Jenkins full of shit is I'm guessing that protesting wasn't 100% safe either. Being out in the streets of Philadelphia during riots, during looting, during protest, I'm guessing that wasn't safe from the Rona or safe from other things.
Certainly
but
not
you did anyway.
100%.
Not 100%. Absolutely, it's not. Now, the media will tell you it is because they don't cover it.
Maybe the whole thing is he just doesn't want to play with Drew Brees.
Maybe that's the answer.
Maybe that's the whole.
He still hasn't gotten over Drew Brees yet. That's the biggest issue here is he has not gotten over Drew.
Although Drew Brees is now, what did we see today? He's the presenting sponsor for the Black College Football Hall of Fame.
Drew's trying real hard. Drew, Drew, like it won't be long until Drew adopts a black family, like he's Larry David.
Yes.
Won't be long until Leon is living in Drew Brees' house, and he's
That
going to
would
make
be-
sure you know that he's got Leon living in his house.
That would be amazing.
I wouldn't doubt it, because I mean, Drew is still so hell bent on convincing people that he's not racist. He's going to do whatever the hell he can to prove it to people, man. As if giving the millions of dollars for the Rona wasn't enough, or raising all the money he's raised for charity over the course of his life, that isn't enough. Now it's really showing that he's making a movement and making a change, because he's just sponsoring some black college football documentary or whatever the hell it is.
There's a whole Hall of Fame. I think
A
it's
Hall of
in
Fame,
Atlanta.
okay.
Yeah, and there is going to be a special about it. So I think he's, I guess, funding part of that, and he's the presenting sponsor.
God, hey, you know what? He's going to keep doing that. And listen, it's not a bad thing, but it's just obvious what it is. Like, Drew Brees gets called out, so now Drew is like, well, shit, I got to find different kind of charity things. And, of course, no one even calls him on the bullshit. They're just like, thank you, Drew, for stepping. This is real change.
Okay, so
I saw someone that in the media or someone say, this is real change, Drew. No, it's not. He's pandering like he's done the whole time.
He and his wife are the proud presenting sponsors for the documentary Black College Football Road to Equality, which is part of the Black College Football Hall of Fame organization.
Where is that? Is there a Black College Football Hall of Fame?
It's in Atlanta.
Oh, okay. Did it get destroyed like the just regular College Football Hall of Fame did there?
Not sure, but I
don't
believe
know.
I believe it's in Atlanta, the Black College Football Hall of Fame. Let's see.
Yeah, so I am curious to see, to Malcolm Jenkins' point again, I'm curious to see if come September, and I also like to see how they go back on what they say, what athletes, when they say they're not going to do something. I'm curious to see, or actors or musicians, I'm always curious to see how they go back on what they said they were going to do. And no one ever calls them on their bullshit, because everybody's afraid to call out athletes and actors on bullshit like this. But it's like, what's going to happen is Malcolm Jenkins says he's not going to play. But can you find me the exact Malcolm Jenkins quote? Because I don't think he said he wasn't going to play if it wasn't 100% safe. But it was something along those lines about safety, right? So help me understand then how you're going to have a 100% safe world to play in come September. He even said it's impossible. So play or don't play. I really don't give a shit if you play. If you don't want to play, don't play. If you want to play, then play the damn game. It's not hard. So let's see here. Drew is a total cuck. He kind of is. Like, now you're owned by these guys. Now Twitter owns you. Your black teammates own you. Like, you have bent over for this. So now, like, this is gonna, it's sad, really, because Drew is seemingly a good guy who's done a ton for a lot of charities, including his own. He's raised millions of dollars. And now, if he's not out raising money for the Black College Football documentary or something, the money's no good.
It's an important conversation. It's going to be airing July 15th.
I'm sure it's going to be
I'm not sure
outstanding.
if it is actually in Atlanta. I may be wrong on that, but I thought I saw that somewhere earlier, but maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, the Malcolm Jenkins quote, he actually said, football is a non-essential business, and so we don't need to do it. So the risk, has to be really eliminated before I would feel comfortable with going back.
So the risk has to be eliminated. Dude, you play football. It's nothing but a risk. Concussions are a risk. Torn muscles are a risk. Broken bones are a risk. And those things, like, you have a better chance of dying from multiple, or I shouldn't say better chance, but you could suffer multiple concussions, get CTE, blow your brains out later in life. There's a better chance that happens to an NFL player statistically than dying from the Rona, I would assume, because so far, have we seen any football player die from the Rona yet? I don't know that we've seen anybody in a football player's family die from the Rona at this point. At least publicly, we haven't seen it. We have seen guys who've gotten the CTE, lost their minds from concussions, shoot family members, shoot themselves, lose their minds. So I would argue that you're at far greater risk of your life being in peril by, like, playing through that concussion that you played through, right? We keep hearing about player safety, player safety. You have a better chance of having that concussion and others turn into a worse situation later in life, where you forget your kids' names, you don't know where the hell you are, and you're depressed over it, and you shoot yourself in the chest so they can examine your brain after it. So far, you have a better chance of that happening as an NFL player than you have of getting CTE and passing it on to someone as an NFL player.
So now, to be fair, he does have a video he posted 3 hours ago.
All right.
That just says "to be clear," where I guess he explains more.
Again, again, so here's
So if you
my
want to
other
pull
problem.
that up, it's
Let me
just on
find
his
that.
Twitter. Yeah.
Here's my other thing about Malcolm that I find laughable. He always has some big statement to make, like the one about Drew when he was like crying about Breeze. Then he deleted it, came right back out and says, so let me be clear. How come you're not clear when you actually talked the first time?
Yeah. Now I assume that's what this is about because people are just saying, yeah, don't let the owners use you, blah 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 blah.
Don't let the owners use you. They pay you millions of dollars.
So we'll
They
see.
pay you millions of dollars to play football. That's the reason you're on CNN, because you're a football player.
Again, that was just some jamoke in the comments, but I can't hear the audio obviously, so I'm
looking
gonna have
here.
you.
Hold on. Let me see here.
pull it
about
up.
Malcolm. The thing is, and I like the guy. I don't think he's a bad dude, but I think he's another example of a guy who's gotten caught up in the fame of being the face of a movement like this. And I think it kind of distorts reality for people like Malcolm Jenkins a lot of the time. Let's see here. To be clear, boy, he's got a great beard, though. I mean, just a beautiful beard. Got some cool gray hair in it, and it really pops with the bald head. All right, let's see here. Hold on.
Let's see what Malcolm has to say.
Well, let me see what you weren't clear about the first time. Here we go.
To be clear, I want to play football. I think.
Okay, just before we start, you had the chance to be clear. You're on television. You're on TV, dude. So you're being interviewed on television for this. So why weren't you clear the first time?
My peers want to play football. It's how we make a living. But there's so much that we don't know right now. And what we look at, what's happening in the country. Cases are going up. Projected deaths are going up.
Also, wait a second. Are projected deaths going up? I'm fairly certain that the deaths are going down, 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 down. Like the cases are going, like I think I might be wrong here, but I think that that's factually inaccurate.
Well, he said projected, so I'm sure people are saying with the rise of cases, there will be more deaths.
There's also no proof of that. With the rise of cases, all that proves is that more people are getting tested.
What's happening in college football, over 41 schools have outbreaks of COVID in their locker rooms as they try to come back for voluntary workouts. LSU's got 30 guys that are now in quarantine. We're watching other sports that will start up before football to see how they're doing it, what their protocols are, and if they'll work. There's so much that we don't know at this point, but I know that the bar for the NFL is going to be high when it comes to creating a safe work environment and making it as safe as possible for guys to come back. As we keep in mind, it's not just about the athletes and their health or the coaches or staff, but our families too.
Thanks, Malcolm. I'm glad you were able to clarify that.
To be clear, I want to play football.
To be clear, again, there is no, the deaths are going down, 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 down. But as the cases continue to go up, more and more people getting this and being exposed to it and fewer people dying should be some sort of sign that this thing is not nearly as dreadful in terms of loss of life as people think. And a lot of people are getting tested now, at least more. Each day, more and more think we should do what our moms did. Let us play with the kid who had the chicken pox, so that we had it, got it over, and moved on. Here's the thing, Joe. There's no evidence that says you can't get it more than once.
Right.
Like, keep that in mind, dude. Like, there's no proof that if you get it once, you can't get it again. And if you get it again, it would actually be worse. So that I don't know.
I've also had a friend tell me, and again, who knows how true anything is, that even if you get it and you're not dying in the hospital,
Yep.
it does have some long-term effects on you internally.
Well, but again, that's you don't want to get it. I understand that you don't want to get it. But I say there's a pretty good shot that we're all either going to get it or we might have even had it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how many people do you talk to who go, yeah, back in January? Jim is one of those people.
Yep.
Jim, I think in February was like, I felt like shit for a couple of days. It's a terrible situation. I didn't know what it was. I thought I had a bad flu, and then it was gone. Like, I think that a good number of people have had it and not known they've had it. But as far as Malcolm Jenkins goes, say what you mean when you say it. Like, Malcolm Jenkins has to go back each time and clarify what he said. No, we heard what you said in your interview with CNN. You said that there needs to be no risk for you to be able to play. Well, dude, there's a risk in everything. You played with a concussion. My guess is that concussion moving forward is going to have a greater impact on your life in a negative way than the possibility of the Rona at this point. Now, before we get into anything else, and I see a lot of people want to get into stuff, we got to talk about Splash Mountain. We got to talk about Space Mountain, and I'm not talking about Ric Flair's hog. We got a lot to talk about today. Let's see here. Jilly, who do we tell them about?
Mac Knight Safety Solutions.
Mac Knight Safety Solutions. We were supposed to go have steaks, I think, with them. They were going to be part of our big
Well,
party
we still
yesterday.
need to do it.
Oh, we are. I'm not
Yes.
saying that we're not going to, but I mean, yesterday we decided to stay in and, play it safe and what have you. But our friends at Mac Knight Safety Solutions, they're in the business of what, Jilly?
Safety.
You bet your ass. And they're in the safety on the work site. They're a safety staffing and consulting company located in Rosenberg, Texas. They work nationwide in international projects, and here's how this damn thing works. Let me tell you. When companies have a temporary need for safety oversight on projects, they use the folks at Mac Knight Safety Solutions versus using their own people. And Mac Knight works in industrial and commercial construction, oil field and manufacturing facilities, and also conducts facility audits for regulatory compliance and assist their clients with developing and maintaining comprehensive safety programs. They keep the work site safe, and they also keep it safe for themselves, or they protect the people who are running the work sites from, having something that could happen that could be detrimental financially. They make sure everything's good. It's Mac Knight Safety Solutions. Find out more about what they do at their website, MacKnightSafety.com. The number is 832-363-1295, 832-363-1295. It is Mac Knight Safety Solutions. Who is next?
Colonial Concepts and Design.
Colonial Concepts and Designs. Where the hell has Mike been lately? I miss him.
Working. I saw him on the gram today.
Well, he's out there hustling. He's out chick grinding. What does he do? You might be asking yourself, what does he do? What does Mike Cohen from Colonial Concepts and Designs do? Well, he renovates your house's home improvement projects right in the Philly area, specializing in projects large or small, and they do a great job, and they're never going to price you out. They're good people. Floor and wall, kitchen and bath, cabinets and countertops, drywall and drywall repairs. They do it all. They're a family-owned business in the Delaware Valley. Got to check them out. They're awesome if you want to take your outdated, kind of antiquated kitchen or bathroom or just floors in your house, whatever it is, and you want to make that bad boy a lot more modern, make it look good, well, they'll do that for you at Colonial Concepts and Designs by Michael. And if you mention the Josh Ennis Show, well, good news for you. 15% off your total labor cost just for supporting GIST, just for being a part of GIST Nation. So make sure you check them out. Their videos are online. Where'd you see their video today? Where was it?
On Instagram.
You can check them out on Instagram, of course. On the gram, they are Colonial Concepts NJ. And on YouTube, you can check out their videos and see some of the before and afters. They've done an outstanding job. They're great people. They work hard. We love them. With our friends at Colonial Concepts and Designs. Mike's a wonderful dude. He's been here since the beginning of this podcast, and we truly appreciate him. The number is 609-849-7558, 609-849-7558. Check out their YouTube channel as well. It's Colonial Concepts and Design. Do we have one more or two more today?
One more.
Let's just do that one more and get it done here at the beginning.
Metro Ready Mix.
Metro Ready Mix. That is our buddy Richard. We haven't heard from Richard in a while. I don't know where he's been, what he's been doing. My guess is he's laying some concrete. I don't know how the concrete business works on rainy days like this, over the last couple days. Don't really know. But I know that the best in town, Metro Ready Mix, and they've been at it for a long time, and they've gained a reputation as an exceptionally trustworthy concrete company. They concentrate on developing long-term client relationships through superior services and strict attention to detail. That's right, kiddos. They are outstanding, and they do slab work and foundations, patios and driveways, parking lots and pool decks. And, of course, they've worked for Sam Cassell, right? They've worked with Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon. And it's about that time to get maybe a little pool deck action. It's about pool deck time. Get a patio. I'd love to have a patio. Wherever we move next, the goal is to have a pool, but if we can't have a pool, at least have a patio outside. A little patio.
A grill.
A grill. And again, the start, if you want to have that patio, well, you know what you need, or the grill, you need to have the patio first. Or maybe have a nice little new driveway laid down so you can put a basketball goal up. Well, they'll take care of you at Metro Ready Mix here in the Houston area. The website is metroreadymix.net, 713-991-6466, or in Crosby, 713-677-9699. It is our friends at Metro Ready Mix. Thank you very much, Richard. All right, so there's a lot of stuff that's going on. I mean, just everywhere. I do have a question here. Is Meltzer still crying and being woke and butthurt? I don't know that Meltzer is woke and butthurt, but Meltzer did drop the read a book on me a couple days ago. And once you drop the read a book on me, it's over.
And unfortunately, it was while you were drinking, which I think amplifies
Oh,
it.
absolutely it did. Once Meltzer did that, I was like, Mike, I love you, but I can't do this. And every day I hear from Mike, I'm trying to understand this NASCAR. I'm like, Meltzer, listen, dude. After you tell me, once you give me the Nick Wright answer of read a book, I'm like, Meltzer, I can't do anything with you, man. I love hanging out with you. We're buddies. We've been buddies for a long time. But I'll tell you what I can't do, Meltzer. I can't continue going out to bars and drinking with you if you're going to kill my damn buzz by telling me that I need to read a book.
And I think that's what happened. I think you had a nice little buzz going, and then it just went away completely, so you just started pounding 6.5% beers.
Yep.
And then you fell.
And then I fell eventually. This is if I would have died, say I would have fallen and hit my head, it would have been all on Meltzer. My blood would be on Meltzer's hands, that son of a bitch. So I hope you're happy, Meltzer. Tell me to read a book when I'm 6 feet under, bud. How about that? But Splash Mountain is one of the topics of conversation across the country today. I don't care. And I understand, we had this debate with M.W. Soulgrove on here, and his point's not wrong. And that point is that once you give an inch, people take a mile and keep taking and taking and taking. Here's my issue, though. Song of the South is what that ride is based on. I don't think Song of the South should be canceled or that the movie shouldn't exist or they should burn the negative and never see it again, okay? But Song of the South is one of those 1940s Disney movies where Uncle Remus, a slave, is whistling Zippity Doo Dah. I'm fairly certain that's probably a negative depiction, or
not great.
If nothing else, a false depiction of what slave life was like, right?
Very, yeah.
So whatever. I don't give a shit about Splash Mountain. We went to Disney World one time. We went in Orlando, right?
Mm-hmm.
We didn't go in L.A. It was so uneventful, most of the rides there, that I don't remember them. Because they weren't that... They're all old and outdated anyway. Splash Mountain is old and outdated. Explain to me why any young kid today would want to ride a ride that just features slave labor happening and it's based on a movie that came out...
That's all.
A movie that came out 80 years ago. Nobody even gives a shit about the movie. That's my bigger issue. Not that it's offensive, but that the movie's 80 years old and no one gives a shit. That's my problem. I wrote that ride. I'm like, whatever, this sucks. Space Mountain. Don't give a shit about Space Mountain. They're all outdated, modernized a little bit.
Basically the same ride.
Yes, it's stupid. So I'm not into. Does if I'm not mistaken, does the Splash Mountain in is it a log flume?
Basically.
Yeah, okay, it's stupid, right? So, but I told this story on the air today that Universal Studios, the reason I wanted to go to Universal Studios is for the Back to the Future ride. That was my dream as a kid. I would see the commercials, whatever Universal movie I was watching, they'd have the intro at the beginning, and it was like Back to the Future 3 or 2, I think, is where I saw the commercial. I'll see if I can find it. But it was the Universal Studios, basically the trailer for the theme park, and you see King Kong, roar, and you see Jaws and E.T., and it's Universal Studios where you can ride the movies. And I was like, I've got to do this. This is my life here, this sounds like the greatest thing ever. And I had to ride the Back to the Future ride. It was the ultimate thing was to ride the Back to the Future ride. And I've done it. I did it multiple times at Universal Studios in Hollywood. And by the time you and I ended up going to Universal Studios in Florida, it was long gone, so I didn't do it. But rides like Jaws, rides like King Kong, those are all great for people of our generation that grew up watching these. But eventually, as you look to get younger and more hipper, what you end up getting is an audience that doesn't give a shit about a movie that came out 50 years ago.
Well, that's why most of Universal now is all Harry Potter.
That's what I'm saying. You and I, we went to the Harry Potter place, right? the Harry Potter universe. And I didn't enjoy it. I knew nothing about it. I was too fat to ride. I know. I was too fat to ride the roller coaster. The little hydraulic thing pulled down, and they're like, listen, if we squeeze you in, you'll be fine. I'm like, fuck you. I'm not going to just sit here and squeeze into this thing and die.
Also,
I don't want to become
butterbeer-
some statistic.
Butterbeer does not have alcohol in it, so we were disappointed.
It sucks. Like, I'm looking at some of these vintage TV commercials. Universal Studios Hollywood. Let me see here. These used to air on all the, like, these old VHSs and stuff. Make sure there's going to be a commercial that airs before this. But, like, as a kid, that's what I wanted to do. Like, my dream was to go ride in the DeLorean and E.T., and I found out the E.T. ride was just terrible.
Over there!
Let's go! Hurry! Watch out, E.T.
From Steven Spielberg's classic motion picture comes a breathtaking new ride for the whole family. Have the adventure of your life with E.T. When you ride the movies at Universal Studios Hollywood.
Ride the movies. See, I love that life, man. Little ride the movies. And I wanted to ride the Back to the Future. And then I finally got to ride the Back to the Future ride. And what a moment it was. But the thing is, you wait in that line, and they got they never changed the intro in the line. It was like Doc Brown and Biff. And there was like this whole little video of the two of them. It was the same from like 1990 into the time it closed. And you get in there and you get into this DeLorean with like 8 other randos. And you're like, all right, I'm in the DeLorean, even though there's no roof on this DeLorean, but I'm in the DeLorean. This is great. And the big video starts happening. You're like, this is awesome. And the DeLorean lifts up. And there's all this steam. And then you start zapping through dinosaurs and shit. But then you look to your right, and there's like 8 other DeLoreans. Then you look over to your left, and there's like 8 other DeLoreans. And you're like, well, this isn't all that great. But I tell you all that to tell you this. That as a kid who grew up in the 1990s and Back to the Future was my favorite movie, that was a dream of mine to ride in the DeLorean. Kids today, I don't believe their dream is to ride in a DeLorean. They like Harry Potter Land. I believe that Back to the Future was replaced by like a Simpsons ride. Terminator 2 3D, which is pretty badass. That was awesome too. There was one we tried out that was replacing one of. It was a Transformers ride when we went. Jurassic Park, they've modernized a little bit. So point in all of this is, do I like that everything's getting canceled? No. Do I think it's a good thing that everything is getting canceled? No. Do I think people are really just starting to reach now? Yes, totally. But all that said, Disney probably should have changed Song of the South and a bunch of other shit like years ago because it's antiquated, boring shit. Like when you look at Tomorrow World or whatever they call it at Disneyland or Tomorrowland or whatever the shit it is, like none of it seems futuristic. It just seems tacky. Like it's not even interesting. Or Splash Mountain's not even fun. It's just a shitty log flume with animatronic slaves in it. It's stupid. So
I love a log flume though. Don't shit on log flumes.
no, log flumes kick ass. I want to be very clear.
Those
I'm
are
a
probably
big
my
supporter.
favorite rides at amusement parks.
Listen, I am a big supporter of the log flume. It's a roller coaster where you get wet. I love the log flume. I also love like the tidal wave. Did you guys have the tidal wave at your Six Flags?
Is that the one there's like 6 people in the thing, like a big
It's like a
raft?
giant boat.
Yeah,
No,
yep.
no, there's tidal wave. Tidal wave is the one where it's like basically a giant log flume. You go up and then
Okay.
you hit like a left turn.
So you're talking about the one that's like the circle raft?
No, you're talking about the circle raft. That's
No,
called like River Wild.
I
or
was
something.
talking about the big boat that goes down the big hill and then splashes everybody.
That's called
Yeah.
tidal wave.
Yeah, that
was what ours was. I don't know what Six Flags you had or where you were, but that was one of them, right? So you'd go up, splash. Then what was the one? There was a ride at Six Flags that you could ride that was like you were whitewater rafting.
Yeah, that
right?
was the big tube.
Yeah. Thunder River, was that what it was called?
That sounds
That's Krilla
right.
Gorilla. I guess everybody might have had different names of
Yeah, I'm
theirs
sure.
at Six Flags.
I don't remember all the names.
And then some of these Six Flags parks, like they would shut down or they would trade rides. You know, like some of the rides from Astro World here ended up at other Six Flags parks, you know. I'll tell you this, man. It's hard for me to believe that a young kid today, like a 15, 20-year-old, not even a 15-year-old kid, a 10 to 11, 12-year-old kid that wants to ride rides at Disney World, I find it really hard to believe like they're riding Splash Mountain and they're like, hey, wow, Mom, check it out. It's Song of the South. Like, no one gives a shit.
But at least the Dixie Chicks changed their name. Thank God.
Let's see. BRB Tugging It says, dude, I got to ride Splash Mountain last year. I get it. Kids don't get it, and Disney has virtually zero brand equity around the characters anymore. Well, it's just, I just don't think people give a shit about that. Like, you got to modernize it a little bit. The Batman ride was a nut crusher, says BSMOO790. Batman ride was badass. You get there like in the hydraulic.
With your legs dangling.
Legs dangling. Click, 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 click. And then, whew. Did you guys ride the Mr. Freeze? And by the way, BRB Tugging It says, dude, this is Lenny. Like Lenny? Like my Lenny? Like Philadelphia Lenny? Like my best buddy Lenny?
Or Dykstra.
Or wouldn't that be something too? How great would that be if it was Lenny Dykstra? No, Matt Ciceretti. That's who it is, our friend Lenny.
I figured.
But wouldn't that be great if it were Lenny Dykstra? I don't know that Lenny Dykstra would be able to figure out. And here's the thing about Lenny, though. And when I say Lenny, I say that's Matt, and we called Matt Lenny because when we golfed with him, we thought that he was a lot like Lenny from Of Mice and Men. Like he'd hug a rabbit and like kill a rabbit. Like he had that kind of odd strength, right? But I think he's like you're like a theme park wacko, right, Lenny? Like you like to go to like Six Flags and all those places. Like you're a big theme park guy. In St. Louis in 2000, my grandpa and I went to Six Flags, and they just opened a wooden coaster called The Boss. Wooden coasters suck.
I like wooden coasters.
That's weird to me because like they're so like clanky and they jerk you around a
but
lot.
You don't have a harness on, so you're not hitting your head. I hate the ones that you hit your head back and forth on. So the wooden ones, you're not smacking your head. You've got just the bar, and I like that one better.
Did you have one called the Screaming Eagle?
I think it was the American Eagle.
Ours was in St. Louis. It was the Screaming Eagle.
It was the one that raced.
And then there was one that had like the loops. It was like a red roller coaster that had the loops, and it was called the Ninja. I don't know if anybody recalls the Ninja, but that was badass too. Mr. Freeze was another good one.
So we had Superman, but it was the one that like it crushed your boobs though, because like it would put you like horizontal.
Yep.
So you were flying like Superman, which sounds fun until you realize like your boobs are just pressed up against your chest for the whole time.
That doesn't sound fun to me. It sounds frightening.
It was kind of frightening. And then we had a stand-up one, the Iron Wolf. That was fun. I think that's the one they filmed Richie Rich on.
Oh, yeah. Do you guys recall, like, so did anybody ride the Mr. Freeze ride?
We didn't have Mr. Freeze.
The Mr. Freeze, when I went to St. Louis one year, they had just opened Mr. Freeze, right? And it's in one of these ones where it's like goes 0 to 60.
Does it go straight up?
It goes straight up and then comes back down backwards.
Ours was called like virtual velocity or something.
Yeah, ours was Mr. Freeze is what we called that. So you'd get in the cart and it would go like 0.
It just shoot you, yeah.
Yeah, it'd go like 0 to 60 in like 4 seconds. Phew. And then go real fast. Blah, blah, you go up, come back down backwards. That was pretty, actually, that one, I was freaked out. Like, I don't like roller coasters, right? But, so I was kind of freaked out by it.
Again, I like the ones, I prefer the ones that just have like the bar. And then there was like this was Raging Bull was all the rage in Six Flags Great America because it was like a wooden coaster in that you didn't have to have a stupid harness and hit your head. Just had like a lap thing that you hold on to. And it was smooth. So that was pretty cool. That one was the best.
Mr. Freeze was awesome. They had one at Six Flags over Texas in Arlington. No, it was badass. And I don't really like roller coasters. I get really freaked out by them. But, there's a picture of me somewhere where, because they take your picture. And on the Mr. Freeze ride, they take your picture right when you take off. So I'm sitting there, like, just holding on to this thing, this little fat kid like this.
Well, those are the scares. You don't know when you're going to launch.
Nope. So it's really up to them. That's one of those things, man. And then you made me ride one of those things that drop you straight down at one of these places.
Oh, yeah, you were terrified. That was at, was that Universal or Disney?
It was one of them in Orlando, and it's one of those things where it shoots you straight up, and then or you go up slow, which makes it even worse, and then you drop down. But I will say what I did enjoy really, just immensely. I really enjoy the Tower of Terror.
That one scared the hell out of me.
I love the Tower of Terror because I'm weird. Like we talked about this on the show the other day, like things that you have strange fears about.
Didn't they shut that down too?
I think they did. But one of the things I have a real strange fear about is not having like railing on the side of me. Like for a roller coaster, for example, if I were on a roller coaster and you get that slow rise, the clack, 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 clack on a roller coaster, once you get to the top, there seems to be no rails on either side and you're just up there. That freaks me out. Like if there are rails up along the whole side of it, I'm not all that weirded out as much. But when there's like, you get up there and you're at the top of it and there are no rails on the sides, it's like, ugh, it gives me just all these like these. Ugh.
You also don't like the water slides like that either.
I hate water slides like that. Oh God. Like, you know what really weirds me out is, and this is most water slides. Most water slides aren't just a tube the whole way down. They're open in some parts.
Mm-hmm.
When you get to that part of it that's open, I always fear that I'm going to fall out of it.
Well, were you scared to ride that one then, like at the Typhoon, Texas here, that looks like the big cylinder, like the big funnel?
Like, that didn't freak me out, though.
Because that one was pretty wide open.
It
That
was,
one and
but-
the
but-
other one, too, the Texas one.
Yeah, but like it's really when you're kind of zooming down a water slide and your body starts kind of riding up the side of it and you have that fear. By the way, thank you, Lenny, for the 1,000 bits. Appreciate you. Got stuck on the Excalibur for an hour in August. Not fun. That sounds dreadful. I'm scared of heights, but went skydiving. The coolest experience ever. One day I'll try to do that. Why not? You got to wait till that Tim McGraw point in life where you're dying, and it's like, why not?
I had the chance to do it for free, and I was like, nah.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it for free. But basically, like late in life, if it's like, hey, by the way, you've got cancer and you're dying or something like that, I'd be like, rock and roll. But for whatever reason, I won't do it now. Josh, rumor is you're leaving Twitch. I saw on Twitter. Well, that's not even remotely true. Let's see. Anyone remember Jungle Surf in Galveston? I certainly don't. I love roller coasters, but now that I'm getting older, I can't really handle them, says the real
Same.
Toaster Head.
Luther's snoring.
Snoring. Let's see. I got stuck on the Batman ride at Six Flags Great Adventure. Now, Lenny, like when you say stuck, were you like in the middle of the ride or did that just never start?
Well, I mean,
Going up the hill. Oh, shit. That almost seems like the worst time because you're probably sitting there thinking you're going to fall backwards.
no,
or
the
something.
worst time, and I've seen it, is when they get stuck on the loop and you're stuck upside
Well,
down.
yeah, that's obvious. But I would also be freaked out to end up stopping on the way up because, like, you're just assuming that eventually it's just all going to fall backwards. Let's see here. Josh, did you see what was going on with Sammy Hagar today? I did.
Trending all day.
He was trending all day because he said basically he'd rather die than not perform. And you know what? That's the Red Rocker, and there's only one way to rock. Most of these people shitting on Sammy Hagar, here's what I hope. I hope that legends like Sammy Hagar don't even pay attention to what dipshits say on Twitter, and that includes myself, because I've tweeted Sammy Hagar, and you know what? I would prefer that he doesn't acknowledge me or any of these ass clowns, because Sammy Hagar is a legend, and he didn't need this bullshit.
Well, I think
the Red Rocker is a man's man.
the line that they took issue with, because all the headlines were like, Sammy Hagar says, we must sacrifice people. Oh, well, like, I forget the exact line. But
Which
it
is
was like,
it's an opinion that a lot of people
oh,
share.
that's it. Sammy Hagar says he's willing to sacrifice people to coronavirus.
But I don't think he said that. Like, I don't believe that was his exact quote.
Well, that's the headline on HuffPost.
Well, okay, it's the Huffington Post, so you got to
Hagar-
take that with a grain of salt.
Sammy Hagar says he's willing to sacrifice people to coronavirus for the economy. Quote, I'm sorry to say it, but we all got to die, man.
Okay. That is completely fucking misleading. I doubt that just Sammy Hagar was like, hey, come out to one of my shows and die, bro. Like, that's what it makes it sound like. Like, I'm going to perform. People are going to come to my show and they're going to die. Come on, man.
The actual quote was, I'm going to make a radical statement here. This is hard to say without stirring somebody up, but truthfully, I'd rather personally get sick and even die if that's what it takes. We have to save the world and this country from this economic thing that's going to kill more people in the long run. He adds, quote, I would rather see everyone go back to work, and if some of us have to sacrifice on that, okay.
How did anybody take from that Hagar said basically come out to my show and die? Like, how did anybody, what did you get from
Well,
that?
there's a part of this quote
Okay.
says, but there may be a time where we have to sacrifice. I mean, how many people die on the earth every day? I have no idea. I'm sorry to say it, but we all got to die, man.
Okay, that's not an unfair statement. At some point, like, we can't sit around for 2 years and just be like, well, we're going to wait until there's a vaccine. At some point, it's survival of the fittest. Fuck these people. Sammy Hagar's a god walking amongst mere mortals, man. Sammy Hagar is legendary, and he lives a legendary life of sitting around in Cabo, drinking his tequila and his rum, playing his jams, hanging out with his famous friends. He rules. He's not wrong. And he's not saying tomorrow. It's not like Sammy Hagar's like, tomorrow we're going to have a big rock concert and we're all going to die.
Well, and I mean, didn't he cancel his shows? I guess he was probably forced to.
Like, I mean, the headline is completely misleading. It's bullshit, man.
Yep, so he's been trending all day.
No, good. You know what? He rules. Hagar rules. 9,000 people die in America on a normal day. Yeah, I thought I read like 7,500, but somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yeah, I mean, they already canceled his tour, so.
Hey, that's the problem here. Let's see. Cha-Cha Nola says, I'm out. Where are you headed? Where are you leaving, friend? There's no need to leave the party. We're having a good time. Listen, I'm not telling anybody that, you should go out and just die. Be safe. Wear your masks. But if we're talking a year down the road, like there are fatalists all over social media that, like, I guess they have no lives. They have nowhere to go. They don't want to work. They're lazy assholes. They have no desire to do anything. They just want to sit around on Twitter all day and tell you that you're going to die. And if you even consider the economy at all, you're a piece of shit. Like, screw off, man. Come on. Like, eventually, like right now we're seeing how bad Texas is. The cases are going up. You know, like we keep hearing about how the cases go up. Of course the cases are going to go up. We're testing more people. More people are out. That makes sense. Tell me about the death rate. I do think the death rate matters and the hospital beds available matter. Like, I have no issue of putting on masks, go to the store, whatever. So, doesn't have it, like, if you're going to go to a restaurant, you put on your mask, fine. And if you don't want to go, don't go. It's pretty simple. It's on you. But give people the option. If they want to go, let them go. If you don't feel safe, don't go. Let's see. Josh, what is your T-shirt? This is a Coach O T-shirt from Barstool.
It's a pretty solid shirt.
It is, but I'll say something. If you feel this shirt, I think our quality's better.
Really?
I feel the logo. Like it feels almost iron on. Feel that.
It does.
Like, our shirt is considerably better than this shirt. And if you haven't ordered your Just Nation T-shirts, can somebody put the link up? Please do. Spank It Slap It got his Just Nation shirt yesterday. That's good. So did MW Soulgrove. I think that our T-shirts, because I put pride in this, but like this feels like I don't feel like it's gonna wear off or anything, but it feels like cheaply, like it feels like an iron.
Like it could crack, maybe.
Yeah, like I don't like this. Like, our shirts are considerably better than this. A lot of people said they're getting their shirts. Dr. Greg, remember Dr. Greg, you were one of the extra large guys that were shipped out, I think, Monday or Tuesday. Do you prefer Hagar or Roth? I prefer Hagar all day. It doesn't mean I think the DLR sucks, but I'm all about that Hagar life. Let's see here. I'm going to Fort Myers for the 4th of July, thinking twice that I should go, hearing how Florida is, says Philly 41862. Then don't go. It's your prerogative, man. If you don't feel safe going, don't go. You know, we're supposed to go to Baton Rouge next week. I mean, if you don't feel safe, you don't feel comfortable, no one's forcing you to do anything. Let's see. I've been working in Dallas all week. How was the sponsor gathering? We shut that one down. We didn't do it yesterday because of, the mat. Like, I didn't want to sit outside at a bar wearing a mask. It just sounded stupid. What is show them this Saturday night? What is show theme? I don't know that we're doing a show this Saturday night. I think we're taking a week off from the Saturday night show to sit around and do whatever the hell we want to do, I think. Well, we're debating that, but I'm leaning towards no Saturday show this week. Now, next week, if we're in Baton Rouge, there may be a Saturday show from my dad's pool on my phone. That's possible.
I'm sure that basically our whole plan for this trip is like just to get drunk at like 3:00 every afternoon by the pool.
Correct. Let's see. I don't think college football will play. I'm not sure on that, man. Again, we still have to see that. What are your thoughts on Keyshawn Johnson replacing Mike Golick on the morning show on ESPN Radio? It's something I don't give two shits about. That doesn't concern me, and not interested. Doesn't do anything for me. I don't listen to Mike and Mike. I didn't listen to Mike and Mike. I don't listen to Mike Golick's kid and Trey Wingo, and I don't know what Keyshawn Johnson sounds like on the radio, and I really don't care. Let's see. What Josh needs to do is play COD Warzone while doing the talk show. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do that. Make sure to get autographs from the cast while you're there. Of Go Fishing the movie.
Yeah.
I might have to.
If we're lucky. I'm honestly concerned they're just going to close like the border again. Because last time Texas was like, nah, Louisiana. your coronavirus cases are too high.
Yeah.
Stay the hell out.
Or we're going to go and then we're going to get trapped there somehow.
I don't think we'll get trapped in, because my fear is they'll make you quarantine for 14 days once you get into Louisiana, like they did with Texas.
Yeah.
It was the opposite before, but now since we're the ones with the super rising cases,
Yeah.
it wouldn't shock me if for like the holiday weekend they're like, mm-mm. And I will be sad because I would like to go sit by the pool and get drunk.
I know. That sounds like a great couple of days. How'd the meeting with Joe Kraus go? Jilly, how did you feel about Joe Kraus? Did you like him?
He was fine. I mean, we didn't really. I mean,
It was
really about
very,
me.
It wasn't like a hangout type of thing. It was like he was there for about 20, 25 minutes. We had a beer and just talked about, the idea for teaming up with Casio. And who knows what's going to become of that. Something may happen, something may not. It's nothing that's etched in stone. And who knows what direction things are going to go in life. But it was fine. He's a very good guy. I enjoyed him. Are you going to hang out with Boosie and Webby in Baton Rouge? I wish. God, Jilly showed me a video. Was it yesterday? So Boosie is still doing this thing on I guess Instagram where chicks shake their asses. Quarantine titty day.
I sent you all these links for audio to play on this podcast, and you never play the audio.
I apologize. Well, I forget because when you send them to me, I'm at the radio station thinking about the radio show, and then I totally forget about doing them on here.
This one was in the shower. You were in the shower.
Well, so some chick's like shaking her ass for Boosie. And all of a sudden she goes, shit, my kid's coming. And Boosie was not happy about the idea that the kid was going to go in there and destroy that.
You're not doing it justice.
Let's see here. I wish we could have gotten the chance to rumble some fools in Philly, man. Yeah. Let me tell you something, Lenny. If somehow I were to get back on the radio in Philly, you would have to come sell it. I know you got other things going on in life, but you're like the most loyal dude ever. I love you. You were loyal to me all the time when I was there. You sold the show all the time. We had great times. We ruled. So if we would ever get back on the radio. Now, granted, if I got back on the radio in Philly, it would last about 5 minutes with my completely out there opinions about these. In this climate, I wouldn't last 5 minutes.
I just sent you this to your Gmail so that everyone can experience the fun that is Boosie.
All right, so you emailed that?
I did.
All right, let me see here. Quarantine titty day. Quarantine titty day. Let's see here. My Nick, who produces the show here in Houston on 97.5, was like, I really enjoy producing this show just randomly today. I'm like,
good.
Thanks, friend. Quarantine titty day.
There's also more Jay Cutler updates. Oh, boy.
But the audio doesn't sound good on here. So.
I don't think you're understanding how stories work.
I'm not, but like the problem is the story stops in the middle of it, then goes again, and it's kind of hard to follow.
Well, that's your internet.
I don't think it was. So here's audio of Boosie. Was this another? Now, this doesn't say quarantine titty day, but I mean, basically, life is quarantine titty day.
Yeah, no,
now.
this is just what he does.
All right, so this chick's like backing her ass up for Boosie. Like, imagine the level of sad. Like, I don't care that people do this, but there is a level of sad that goes along with backing your bare ass up on is this Instagram for Boosie? But whatever, what do I know?
One time for Bobby Smurda. Smack that other ass for BG. Smack that other ass for C Murray. Oh!
You're still backing it up.
Ooh, look at that ass right. That's a big old ass right there. Right there. Ooh, right there.
My kids coming. I gotta go.
Oh, the kids. Get the fucking kids out. Fucking kids. I just said that about them fucking kids. Man, school gotta start back. Man, them fucking kids fucking up. Hey, these kids, dog. These kids, dog. Fucking kids, man.
Point's valid.
Fuck.
Like, how do you
One
explain
time for
that
Bobby
to your
Smurf.
children?
Now, if someone's asking what this is, since there's no video, I'll explain. So this is Boosie Badass, and he is on Instagram, and I guess this chick is just backing her bare ass up, and she's smacking it. I'm guessing they're giving her money.
Probably, like $20.
And then she's backing it up, and then Boosie is telling her what to do.
One time for Bobby Smurda. Smack that other ass for BG.
What I also like is she's clearly in her bathroom, and she's grabbing onto a towel rack. I guess her phone is probably like up against a mirror or something, and she's just backing it up.
Smack that other ass for C Murray.
Like, that's intense, by the way. Like, that is some hardcore shit there when you're listening to this chick slap her ass, right? Hold on a second. Let me see here.
Ooh, look at that ass right. That's a big C Murray. Oh! That ass for BG. Smack that other ass for C Murray. Oh!
But the kids are about
Look
to
at
come
that
in and
ass
ruin
right
this
there.
shit.
That's a big old ass right there. Right there. Ooh. Right there.
My kids coming. I gotta go.
Oh, the kids. Get the fucking kids out. Fucking kids. I just said that about them fucking kids. Man, school gotta start back. Man, them fucking kids fucking up. Hey,
It does.
hey, these kids, dog. These kids.
Quarantine titty day.
Fucking kids, man. Fuck.
Well,
One time for
quarantine
Bobby
titty day.
Smurf.
Oh, shit. It just started again.
Smack that other ass for BG.
I also like how it says smack that other ass. She's got one ass.
Oh, I think you meant Chic.
Smack that other ass for C Murray.
The things I do for bits, but these chicks are wild. Quarantine titty day. Quarantine titty day.
I'm angry your Instagram stories don't work. I'd like to see what's up with Shay.
Yeah, they don't work well on the computer.
I've watched
discovered.
Instagram stories on the computer
Well,
before.
it didn't work that well for me last time, but Jay is still on the hunt for his
The serial killer, the chicken serial killer.
correct. Quarantine
I think
titty day.
he's ruled out the cat.
Well, that's good. That's a positive, I think, that we've ruled out the cat. This thing started with playing audio of Malcolm Jenkins, and now we have descended into this.
Yep.
Into playing Quarantine Titty Day audio of
And
a
that's
chick
how it
backing her
goes.
ass up. Well, you know how it is with these kids, man. Start screwing with these kids and shit gets crazy. We didn't even talk about Jenny Slate and how it's the absurd. Like, that's really, like, this is someone who did nothing wrong that just decided to preemptively cancel herself for doing nothing wrong.
She literally said, "I'm racist."
Like, we're like, why are you racist? I don't know, but I know someone's going to say I am, so fuck it, I'm racist. Damn it. Like, I don't feel bad for her because it's pathetic. But it's just sad. Like, it's a really good show. Big Mouth's a good show. And the character, like, I'd understand it to a degree if it were like the Apu thing and you're like, okay, white dude is doing like a voice of
Stereotypical.
like if there was a stereotype, but the voice she's doing on Big Mouth is basically a nerd voice, a garden variety nerd voice of a character who is a half Jewish, half black person, and she herself is a Jewish white person, so she's half
of the
that,
character, yes.
and she's not doing some stereotypical voice or anything like that. It's just fascinating the way and no, I don't recall anyone going after her either.
No,
I don't
nobody
recall
did.
that there was no attack. No one gave a shit.
But she said she's doing it to, further her own self exploration about how her racist tendency. I don't remember what the quote was, but it was ridiculous.
It's like, it's shocking. It's shocking that like people, and I say this all the time, but white people are some real dumb sons of bitches sometimes. And what you get is you get a bunch of people who want to create racism where it's not there so they can solve the racism.
Oh, this was 100% the example of that because she says, let's see. At the start of the show, I reasoned with myself that it was permissible for me to play Missy because her mom is Jewish and white, as am I. But Missy is also black. And black characters on an animated show should be played by black people. I acknowledge how my original reasoning was flawed, that it existed as an example of white privilege and unjust allowances made within a system of societal white supremacy.
But do you even know the shit you're saying?
And that in me playing Missy, I was engaging in an act of erasure of black people.
No, you weren't.
Ending my portrayal of Missy is one step in a lifelong process of uncovering the racism in my actions.
It's fascinating, man.
So she's literally saying, I'm racist.
And like, do you believe you're racist? Yes. Why? Based on this one incident here I am, which isn't even an incident. Like, I don't know if you guys knew this. My dad has voiced Scooby-Doo. He's not a Great Dane. My dad is not a dog. So as soon, Dad, make sure you get the dogs. Dad, I got a problem with this here. Dad, I got some issues. My main issue is your dad is taking jobs away from other voice acting dogs that might have a chance, Dad. This is so stupid. This is stupid.
Luther's offended.
I'm offended by this. This is ridiculous, Dad. This is out of control. Dad, like, get my agent on the phone. Dad, get Heather on the phone.
Heather's your agent now, Luther?
No, Luther, Heather is my agent. I don't care. She's my agent now, too.
We should just tell her to start finding Luther, like, dog modeling jobs.
Like, I don't know that that's what she does, but okay.
I guarantee you she knows somebody.
I wouldn't doubt it.
You should send her a picture of Luther and be like, where can we get this guy?
Can Luther find some jobs, please?
Because we're not, so someone has to.
Like, I can't. Hey, listen, Heather, I love you, but you ain't finding shit for me right now, so get Luther a job. I'm a voice actor, Dad, and I'm a real dog. It's authentic. I wouldn't be shocked. Like, we make jokes. I don't feels like an Onion article, but I wouldn't doubt it that one day they're like, listen, we've been wrong for having humans voice dog characters on cartoons, so we're going to have real dogs.
Well, Paw Patrol's already problematic, so add that to the list.
That's true. Let's see here.
I also like this group that wants to change the national anthem. They want to get rid of the Star Spangled Banner because it was written by a slave owner in Francis Scott Key.
Uh-huh.
And they want to replace it with Imagine by John Lennon.
Oh! Here's a hot take. Imagine is one of the 5 most overrated songs in the history of songs. And John Lennon, also extremely overrated. I've done voiceover as a black guy, mainly because I have a deep voice that can speak with that brother dialect, says Lone Star DC. It'd be one thing if this character in this show had like any sort of stereotypical black voice or stereotypical characteristic. It's just a nerdy nerd. That's all this character is. And again, the part that bothers me is we've got white people so scared out of their minds that they're creating racism so they can solve it. They're canceling themselves for doing nothing.
I did see someone comment on her post, and I kind of laughed. They were like, so, I mean, you've made money off this character, though, so when are you going to be, redistributing your funds
It's a fair question.
to, like, Black Lives Matter charities?
It's a fair question. If you feel so guilty about doing this job, then you should take every dime you've ever made from it and give it to somebody else. That is a hot take about Lennon. It's not. I mean, it's not a hot take to state a fact or an opinion of my own, which is I don't like John Lennon. I don't particularly like any of the Beatles. I don't particularly like the Beatles themselves as a group. John Lennon was full of shit. Most people are full of shit. Other than us. We here in Gist Nation, not full of shit. And that's what makes us stand apart from everyone else. Not being full of shit. We rule. We are the guardians of common sense. Don't forget that. Let's see here. Imagine is a song that celebrates communism. I would love clips from that fake black caller on Mike Miss's show to resurface. Yeah. I don't think that'll ever happen, though. Let's see here. And you know what? And
maybe you should tweet Jenny Slate about it and she can start a movement.
Yep. Jenny Slate, I've got some thoughts here, ma'am.
You're not going to believe this.
You won't believe this, hun. Let's see here. Oh, thank you for the bits. People just dropping bits in here today. We appreciate you guys. Beatles equal original boy band. I dropped that take on them in Philly once when I was on the show with Tony. And you would have thought I killed somebody with that opinion. People lost their minds over that. Like, yes, they're a boy band. It was some young, good-looking kids. Now, they played their own instruments, but they were a boy band.
I didn't know anyone disputed that they weren't a boy band.
Oh, no, people didn't like that terminology at all. Like, boy band? I'm like, yeah, they're an NSYNC. They're whatever. They were cute.
Do you remember that thing we were watching? Was it on Amazon or Netflix? Mm-hmm. About the different generations of boy band fandom?
Oh, yeah.
Did we
ever finish
That's
it?
what I was wondering, but the Beatles were one of them.
Yep.
It was the Beatles, Backstreet, One Direction, I think.
You want to see some fascinating shit.
That was good.
See these Japanese girls at like these boy band concerts. Not for Japanese bands, but like when, the New Kids on the Block would go to Japan And like these chicks would trample each other. Japanese people get very excited about their boy bands. A dude living in a mansion singing about how great it would be if we had no beliefs or possessions. Yes, I agree.
And then the celebrities lip syncing it or singing it actually made it even
Ugh.
better. That was my favorite.
Yes, they suck ass. But, you know, that's how they solve that. That's how they feel better about their privilege, I guess.
Which one was that? Who
Gal
started that one?
Gadot.
That was her.
Is that her name? The cat? No, what? That's her Wonder
yeah,
Woman. Is that
yeah,
who she
you're
is?
right. It was that one. And then there was the other one about the how they're awful racist, right? There was another
Yes.
montage. Yeah.
Yep.
Celebrities.
Have you watched the Lou Pearlman documentary on YouTube? I want to, but I don't have YouTube.
We did.
No. There's different ones. We watched a Lou Pearlman documentary that was like a 2020.
Oh yeah, but it had clips from that one.
Correct. The one that we're talking about is the one that was produced by Lance Bass.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd like to watch that, but we don't have YouTube Premium or whatever, TV or whatever the hell it is. Now, maybe it's free on there now. I don't know.
It's always free. You just have to watch it with ads.
No, this is different. Like, this was exclusive to...
No, we could watch it. We watched the first like 2 minutes of it, and you're like, I'm not watching this
No,
with commercials.
false. That was a bone. It was not with commercials. That's not how it worked. You had to have YouTube TV to watch it. Because like it was a 2-minute trailer. I thought it was the whole thing, but it wasn't. It was just like a 2-minute snippet, like a highlight. Trust me, I would have watched it with commercials because I'm fascinated by it. Black Friday is canceled. Really? I didn't hear that one. Is that true? I could believe it. I possibly. You don't have HBO Max, Josh? No, I don't need HBO Max. Sounds like all the same shit you get if you have HBO on demand, with the exception of a couple of things that I probably wouldn't watch anyway. Ah, boy. Anyway. Anywho. Want to make some more popcorn tonight?
You've really been on a popcorn kick. You've really, this was funny because this whole week, you went into this week like, this is the week I'm going to drop like another 5, 6, 7, 8 pounds.
I haven't been that bad this week.
We've eaten salty popcorn twice.
No, we've eaten salty popcorn once. I haven't had popcorn
well,
twice.
It's about to be twice.
No, I'm not going to have pop. You're right. I don't need to have popcorn. It just sounded tasty. But other than that, we've eaten nice dinners.
We went to Dairy Queen the other night.
Okay, that's because I felt like I was wondering if I wasn't getting enough sugar.
So not only have you eaten worse this week, you've also eaten after 8 o'clock this week.
That's
Twice.
Okay, that's pop. Okay. You know what? I don't need to be judged.
Well, I want to go to Dairy Queen, but no, we're not going to go now, are we?
You want to go to Dairy
I want
Queen?
that animal cookie blizzard again.
You want to go right now?
Yes.
Okay.
I
But just don't
do.
fucking judge me for that.
Well, don't order fries and ice cream.
I didn't, but you know what?
Fatty.
They didn't give me the fries that last time. And by the way, I've lost 30 pounds. If I want to live a little bit, I can.
Yeah. You could have told me that before I went to the store and bought all the healthy dinners.
But I ate them and they were fine. Like, I don't mind eating a healthy dinner.
I know,
Shit.
but I really wanted the noodle treat, as we call it.
Yeah.
And you
I
go,
know.
oh, let's stay away from noodles. I was also going to make, like, a ground turkey pasta bake. Oh, let's stay away from noodles.
Okay, I screwed up. I suck.
Yeah,
You're right. I suck.
did.
I'm
I
a
would've-
horrible human being.
I would have made some.
I was feeling good about myself. I felt like I'd done good things this week in life. Felt like I was dropping bombs. I had people complimenting my radio show. I'm getting tweets from people I've never heard of saying they love the radio show, and
Well,
now you want to
that's
bring me
good.
down. You want to bring me down right now. Who knows? We could find a job soon with how hot I've been lately.
Oh, here's another story. Sammy Hagar willing to trade people's lives for economy.
Oh, Christ. They love that. Commerce over economy. You know what? Let's all just stay in our fucking houses. You know what? Let's shut down all this. Because remember this. Grocery stores are economy as well. So if you want to make sure you shut it all down, shut down the grocery stores. You don't need them going hunting for your own food. Hunt and gather, you cunts. Go out and go kill animals and hunt and gather for yourself. We're shutting down the grocery stores. We're shutting down the gas stations. We're shutting it all down because we're going to care about people over commerce. Suck a big fat one, assholes. Go fuck off. God, these people are stupid. Oh, commerce over whatever. You know, you notice the people that love to talk about commerce over lives are losers on the internet who clearly don't have jobs and media people who do have jobs and are getting richer than shit off of this stuff. Fuck you.
I like
God.
when someone tweets like, we got to shut the whole thing down again. We got to shut down the whole state. As this is like a person who's working from home on the radio.
Yes.
I'm glad it's easy for you.
Yeah, because you're not concerned about it, you shit-kicking putts.
Your job's safe. You work from home. You close down the whole state again. Other people are going back on unemployment, furloughs, just
Ugh.
laid off in general.
I swear people are stupid.
No one thinks.
People are stupid. Like, again, media people. Like, you're a media person. you've got a captive audience when we're all held in quarantine, and you're still getting paid. Like, you can't tell me that doesn't, alter the way you think about things. If you didn't have a job, like say your job was saying we're shutting down until this shit's over, and you're hungry and you're poor and your family's fucked, then you'd think about it a whole lot differently. Tell you, people are out of control. This whole damn world's out of control. That's why we need level-headed comment. We are the gatekeepers of common sense is what we are. That's why we're here. Bam. That's why we're here. One of these days, our voice will be the most important voice in this country is what this is going to be. And Just Nation, you were here to start. Killed my 401k basically to pay bills, and I'm a single dad, brother. My entire savings, I'm pretty close to my savings being pieced out, my friend. Still have the 401k stuff because Martin won't let me touch it at the moment. But I can tell you, dude, my savings is pretty close to gone, dude. So I'm with you on that. Now, granted, not all of that was the Rona, but a good bit of it was. I mean, because it's been hard to find jobs. There are no radio jobs. So I feel you, man. It sucks ass.
And as we talked about, what we thought might have been a kickstart to find a job was that time they let you fill in on the CBS Sports Network.
The day the Rona happened.
The day the Rona happened. And then everything just shut down from there. Like, we really thought that was going to be kind of like the start of something. Like, hey, this is great. This is a good leap, a good starting point. People are going to hear me on the network. I'm going to get some good, recommendations.
Yep.
And then I don't think the big bosses even listened because the world shut down the next day.
Yep. All right, let's say goodbye to the people. If you were on the podcast side, we say goodbye to you. And while I publish this, I'll continue talking with you, Neanderthals. And by that, I mean beautiful members of Just Nation, because you're awesome people and I love you. Let's see. What should we title this? The NFL players will play. There we go. Description. Let's see. Let's see here. Malcolm Jenkins went off. He didn't really go off.
And we talked about theme parks.
Yeah. Let's see. Josh thinks players like Jenkins are hypocrites. Explain how you'll play knowing you have a concussion, but won't play. Oh, that doesn't make any sense. Let's see. Josh players like Jenkins are hypocrites. The gang also discusses the cancellation. Let's see.
Wait.
What?
Also, this seems also hypocritical.
What's that?
Carlos Correa and Lance McCullers are going to host their Walkout podcast.
I saw that.
Live for UFC Fight Night at Warehouse Live on June 27th with tickets starting at $15.
Yeah.
So you're all concerned with playing baseball, but you're going to bring a group of people to a concert venue.
To hear a podcast of Carlos Correa.
And Lance McCullers.
Okay, well, I mean, it's two douches. Let's see.
We should do our podcast live from Warehouse Live.
I'm sure we could at some point. Have you checked out Space Force yet? We watched an episode of it.
I've heard the second episode's hysterical, and then it just gets really stupid.
Yeah.
We've been catching up on Mama June.
Yeah. Where did we go after Splash Mountain? What direction?
Boosie?
Oh, yeah. Well, Boosie is back with more QTD action. There was one other thing we got into.
Jenny Slate.
Oh, yeah, that too. Plus, white people canceling themselves. Boy, that's a quality program right there. Quarantine Titty Day. Need to get Boosie on the show.
Probably not hard.
Jilly, I heard the exact same thing. First episode bores me. I heard the second was awesome and the rest suck.
Yep.
Like
that's exactly what I heard.
I was completely uninterested in the first episode. It was stupid. Make sure I don't have anything misspelled in here. All right. White people canceling themselves. One of my favorite topics. Splash Mountain. Splash Waterfalls. What is Jilly's favorite band of all time? The Oak Ridge Boys. That's
The Oak
actually
Ridge
a true.
Boys. I don't know. I'm
Favorite
weird
song
though
is
because
Elvira.
like I don't have like a favorite band per se. Like I have songs that I like the best. I mean, I always like the All American Rejects,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, I don't really have a favorite band of all time. Like there's certain songs I like from different bands.
How do you feel about Quarantine Titty Day? Quarantine Titty Day. How much longer would you give the Wallace story before it goes away?
Never.
No, it'll go away. It's about to go away.
They kept it floating today though by tweeting the picture.
They did, and the picture's dumb too. But now that that's happened, and I think it's eventually going to fade away. It's not going to be around very much longer. And he's going to be a nobody like he was before all this shit went down, and life will go on.